Welcome back, financial livestock. Let me tell you something about the United States economy in 2026 that nobody else has the spine to say out loud.
The system, and I mean the entire financial infrastructure, is precision engineered to keep you at exactly $400 in your checking account. Not $4,000, not $40,000. $400. One flat tire away from a payday loan. One medical bill away from a GoFundMe campaign. One broken transmission away from financing your Uber rides to work on a credit card at 27% APR.
And you know what makes this hilarious to me? I used to sit in the meetings where we designed these traps. The psychological mousetraps, the fine print, the convenience fees that aren't convenient for anyone except the CEO's third yacht fund. The first $10,000 is deliberately, strategically designed to be absolute hell. It's the financial equivalent of quicksand. The harder you struggle, the deeper you sink. But here's the thing. There's an insider loophole, a specific combination of high-yield arbitrage, bank bonus churning, and psychological friction hacks that lets you hit that 10K mark twice as fast as the system expects, maybe even faster if you're not completely brain-dead. I'm going to hand you the keys to that vault at the 12-minute mark of this video, the exact play-by-play. The stuff they don't teach in school, because schools are funded by the same corporations that need you broke. But first, sit down and shut up for 10 minutes, because I need you to understand exactly how you're being harvested like livestock, how every dollar you think you're investing in yourself is actually going straight into the pockets of people who laugh at you in their country club. You're not gonna like what you see. But if you can handle the truth without crying into your oat milk latte, you might just escape this thing. Let's go. Let me explain something fundamental that your parents didn't teach you and your school couldn't teach you because they were too busy making you memorize the mitochondria. Being poor is expensive as hell. And I don't mean poor like sleeping on the streets. I mean poor like you. Yeah, you with the $1,200 in your checking account thinking you're doing okay. You're not okay. You're bleeding out. The bank fee torture. You've got less than $1,500 in your account? Congratulations, you pathetic gazelle. Your bank is charging you a $12 monthly maintenance fee. That's $144 a year just for the privilege of being broke. Let me repeat that so it sinks into your skull. The bank charges you money for not having money. It's like getting a speeding ticket for driving too slow. It's like paying a gym membership fee for not working out. It's financial sadism, and you're the gimp. Over 5 years, that's $720 you just gave away for literally nothing. That's 7.2% of your 10K goal. Gone. Vaporized. Spent on executive bonuses. But wait, it gets better. The overdraft scam. You miscalculate your account by $2.47 because you forgot about that Netflix subscription? Bam! $35 overdraft fee. That's a 1,417% markup on your mistake. Actual loan sharks, the guys who break kneecaps, charge less than that. The mafia has better ethics than your bank. And here's the really sick part. Banks reorder your transactions from largest to smallest, specifically to maximize overdraft fees. You make 5 small purchases and 1 big one? They process the big one first to drain your account, then hit you with 5 separate $35 fees on the small ones. $175 in fees because you bought coffee wrong. Genius. Pure financial sadism. The interest rate prison. Now let's talk about the interest rate scam. Your savings account, if you even have one, is paying you 0.01% APY at your traditional bank. On $1,000, that's 10 cents a year. You can't even buy a pack of gum with your annual interest earnings. You're basically donating free money to the bank to gamble with. Meanwhile, that credit card in your wallet, the one you swore you'd pay off next month for the last 8 months,
That's charging you 24.99% APR on average in 2026. Some of you financial dear are paying 29.99% because you missed one payment during COVID and they jacked your rate forever. The lifestyle inflation trap.
But here's where you become complicit in your own destruction. You're broke, right? You know you're broke. Your bank account knows you're broke. So what do? You buy small dopamine hits to forget you're broke. $6.47 for a Starbucks latte. That's $1,941 a year if you do it Monday through Friday. That's nearly 20% of your 10K goal literally pissed away in overpriced coffee milk. But I need it to function at work. No, you need caffeine. You can get 100 caffeine pills for $8 at Walmart. You don't need the Instagram aesthetic and the misspelled name on a cup. You need a personality. And then there's the subscription hemorrhage. Netflix, $15.99, Hulu, $12.99, with ads you're still paying for, Disney Plus, $14.99, Spotify Premium, $11.99, Amazon Prime, $14.99 per month, Apple iCloud, $2.99, that gym membership you haven't used since February, $49.99, the meal kit subscription you forgot to cancel, $89.99 per week. That's $5,806 a year on subscriptions, over half your 10K goal, just bleeding out every month on autopilot. But you know what really makes me laugh? You're financing a $1,200 iPhone on a payment plan, paying $50 a month for 2 years because you needed that 0.3 second faster processing speed and that marginally better camera to take pictures of food you can't afford.
And that car. Oh, that beautiful, soul-crushing car. $47,000 for a mid-tier SUV. 7-year loan at 8.2% interest because your credit score looks like a drunk person tried to solve a Rubik's Cube. You're paying $691 a month to look successful in the Walmart parking lot to people you don't like who also can't afford their cars. You're a financial deer walking into traffic wearing a Rolex, and the headlights are getting closer. Now, let's talk about why 2026 specifically is designed to annihilate your financial progress. Your parents' advice? Dead. Your high school economics teacher's wisdom? Obsolete. That Dave Ramsey budget you tried for 3 weeks? Adorable but mathematically insufficient. The rent apocalypse. Median rent for a one-bedroom apartment in a mid-tier American city in 2026, $2,185 a month. Not San Francisco, not New York. I'm talking about Louisville, Kentucky, Boise, Idaho, Columbus, Ohio. That's up from $1,600 in 2020. That's a 36.5% increase in 6 years. Meanwhile, median wages went up, if you were lucky, about 3% per year. Cumulative? 19% over 6 years. Let me spell this out for the people in the back. Your rent went up twice as fast as your income. The math doesn't math. You're supposed to lose. If you're following the old rule of spending 30% of your income on rent, you'd need to make $87,400 a year to afford that $2,185 a month apartment. Median American salary in 2026? $48,060. You're $40,000 short. So what do? You spend 45–50% of your income on rent and just hope nothing breaks? Hope you don't get sick? Hope your car doesn't die? Hope your job doesn't lay you off when their stock price dips? You're not building wealth. You're praying you don't go bankrupt. The shrinkflation scam. But the rent is just the appetizer. Let's talk about grocery stores, the place where the system is pickpocketing you in broad daylight. You know that bag of Doritos you've been buying for years? And you know what? They're right. Most of you didn't notice. Here's the real gut punch. That $100 you managed to save in 2020, it's worth about $78.20 in 2026 purchasing power. Cumulative inflation ate 21.8% of your money while you were sleeping. And just when you thought it couldn't get worse, car insurance in 2026 is up 47% from 2020. That's right, 47%. You're paying an extra $559 a year to insure the same car you've always had. Why? Because insurance companies looked at inflation, looked at their profit margins, and said, yeah, let's just charge more. And you have to pay it, because driving without insurance is illegal, and you need your car to get to your job to pay for your car insurance.
It's a beautiful scam, really. I'd be proud if it wasn't so disgusting.
All right, enough crying. You get it. The system is rigged. You're being harvested. Cool. Now let's talk about how you escape. This is the escape velocity roadmap, the tactical cheat codes that the banks absolutely despise because they remove you from the harvest cycle. Step 1. Stop the bleeding. The subscription purge. First thing, and I mean right now, pause this video if you have to, you're going to open your banking app and look at every single recurring charge from the last 60 days. Every single one. That streaming service you haven't watched in 3 months? Gone. That productivity app you bought to improve yourself and used twice? Gone. That gym membership you're definitely going to use next month? Gone. That magazine subscription your ex signed you up for? Gone. I don't care if it's only $4.99 a month. That's $59.88 a year. Across 10 subscriptions, that's $600 a year. That's 6% of your 10K goal that you just recovered by clicking cancel 15 times. And here's the thing that's going to hurt your feelings. You won't miss any of it. Second, stop using Uber Eats. Stop using DoorDash. Stop paying a 60 to 80% markup on food for the convenience of not walking to your car. Step 2. The dopamine debt snowball. Now let's talk about debt. I know you have it. Credit cards, student loans, that $800 you owe your friend from college who brings it up every time you hang out. Here's what you're not going to do. You're not going to tackle the highest interest debt first. I know that's mathematically optimal. I don't care. You're not a spreadsheet. You're a dopamine-driven mammal who needs wins to stay motivated. Here's the play. List every debt, smallest to largest. Ignore the interest rates. Pay minimum payments on everything except the smallest debt. Then throw every extra dollar, every single one, at that smallest debt until it's dead. When that debt dies, take that payment and add it to the next smallest debt. Keep rolling. This is the debt snowball, and it works because every time you kill a debt, your brain releases dopamine. That dopamine makes you want to kill the next one. It's positive reinforcement conditioning. Here's the dirty secret about building wealth. You can't trust yourself. Your brain is wired for instant gratification. You'll convince yourself that you deserve that new gadget, that you earned that night out, that you'll make up for it next month. You won't. The goal is to reach 20% of your net income going to savings automatically. For someone making $48K, that's about $615 per paycheck biweekly. I can hear you now, but I can't afford that. You can't afford not to. You're spending that money on trash anyway. We're just redirecting it before you have a chance to waste it. Step 4. The distance rule. Bank separation. Here's a psychological hack the banks hate. Open your savings account at a completely different bank than your checking account. Not the same bank. Not a savings account that's one button click away from your checking. A different bank entirely. Why? Friction. If your savings is at the same bank as your checking, you can transfer money instantly. That means when you want to impulse buy something, you can drain your savings in 30 seconds. But if your savings is at a different bank,
That transfer takes 2 to 3 business days.
That friction kills impulse purchases. By the time the money arrives, you've already forgotten why you wanted it, or you've realized it was stupid. Friction is your friend. Use it. Where to open this account?
High-yield savings accounts in 2026 are paying 4.5% to 5.3% APY at places like Ally Bank, Marcus by Goldman Sachs, Wealthfront, CIT Bank. Compare that to the 0.01% your traditional bank is giving you. On $10,000, that's the difference between $1 a year and $500 a year.
That's free money for doing literally nothing except clicking a few buttons.
All right, you made it. You stuck around. That means you're either serious about this or you're a masochist who enjoys financial lectures. Either way, here's the loophole at promised. The insider arbitrage play that lets you hit 10K way faster than the system expects. The high-yield arbitrage stack.
Most of you financial deer are keeping your emergency fund in a checking account earning nothing. Maybe you've got $3,000 sitting there just in case. That $3,000 is making you 30 cents a year at your traditional bank. Here's the play. Direct deposit, 10 debit card transactions per month, paperless statements. That's it. You do those 3 things and your checking account is now paying you 3 to 4%. So here's the stack. Keep your monthly spending money, rent, groceries, gas, in the rewards checking, earning 3 to 4%. Keep everything else in your high-yield savings, earning 4.5 to 5.3%. You're now earning interest on both sides of your money. But wait, there's more. Banks are desperate for customers in 2026. They're offering sign-up bonuses to get you in the door. Here are some real examples from early 2026. Chase Checking, $300 bonus for opening account plus direct deposit. Citibank, $400 bonus for $15,000 deposit, kept for 60 days. HSBC, $600 bonus for $50,000 deposit, or $450 for $10,000. If you're strategic, you can rotate through these bonuses every quarter. That's an extra $1,200 to $2,000 per year just for moving money around. Is it a little annoying? Yes. Is it worth $2,000 for maybe 3 hours of work total? That's $666 per hour. You tell me. Here's something the credit card companies buried in behavioral studies and hoped you'd never find. When you physically see progress, your brain releases dopamine. That dopamine makes you more likely to continue the behavior. So here's the hack. Print out a progress chart. Old school, paper. Every time you save $500, cross it off. Big red X, Sharpie. Make it satisfying. Every time you kill a debt, cross it off. Make it visual. Put it somewhere you see every single day. Bathroom mirror, refrigerator, doesn't matter. Final hack for the overachievers, use apps that round up your purchases to the nearest dollar and funnel the difference into savings or investments. $3.47 coffee, charged $4.53 to savings. Seems tiny, right? Let's do the math. Acorns rounds up and invests. Chime rounds up to savings. Capital, customizable savings rules. So here we are. You now know the game is rigged. You know exactly how it's rigged, and you now have the tactical playbook to escape. But here's the thing about knowledge. Knowledge without action is just entertainment. You're going to close this video and scroll to the next dopamine hit. You're going to watch another video about 10 ways to get rich and do exactly none of them. You're going to go right back to financing your Starbucks habit while complaining you're broke on Twitter. Or you're going to do one thing right now, today, in the next 5 minutes. Just one. Cancel one subscription you don't use. Set up one automatic transfer of $50. Open one high-yield savings account. List out one debt to start the snowball. That's it. One action. Not tomorrow, not when I get paid next. Right now.
Because here's the secret nobody tells you. The first action is the hardest. The first $500 is harder than the next $5,000. The first canceled subscription is harder than canceling 10. But once you start, momentum builds.
The system is counting on you to quit. Your broke friends are counting on you to stay broke so they don't feel alone. The banks are counting on you to give up after 2 weeks and go right back to being a revenue source. Prove them wrong.
But you don't have to stay livestock. You can become the hunter. You can learn the game. You can exploit the loopholes, but only if you take action.
Subscribe, hit the bell, and commit to learning how to beat this system. I'll be here every week showing you exactly how to exploit the financial infrastructure for your benefit. Leave, close the tab, go back to your life. Stay comfortable, stay broke, stay a victim.
Choose.